Colin, here's a question that came in for you. What did you draw on to help prepare for this role? Did you study previous iterations of this character? And if so, what did you want to take with you or leave behind from those?
I was speaking with somebody earlier, and they referenced Dustin Hoffman in Midnight Cowboy, and I never for a second thought of Rat's Rizzo once. But there's no doubt that every single film I've seen, someone else last week said to me that having seen the first 2 episodes, that Oz reminded them of De Niro in The Untouchables as Al Capone. Someone else said James Gandolfini. So it's not an original performance, apparently. No, but what I mean is, all of them are in there. Like, I've seen Untouchables twice. I've seen Midnight Cowboy 4 times. Anything, as an actor, anything you ever see, any piece of music you ever hear, it all kind of meets you inside in a place that gets filtered through every single character you do in lesser or greater ways. So there was nothing particular that I thought of. When I read the script first for the Batman, and I've said this before, I was kind of a bit baffled as to what I could do with it or how I would look. I met Matt Reeves to talk about the Batman, and I had just come off a thing called the Northwater that I'd put on 50 or 60 pounds for, and he was like, "Oh my God, you look great, the body's great." And I was like, "Well, tough shit, say goodbye to it, because I'm dropping pounds now. I got to get healthy again. I just finished being bigger for like 6 months." And then, of course, the technology of bodysuits. And then Matt said, "Have you been talking to Mike Marino?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Have you seen what you're going to look like?" And I said, "What I'm going to look like sounds like a threatening statement almost." "No, I haven't." And Matt went, come here. And he opened up his computer on his desk in London. And this was about 6 months before we started shooting the Batman. And he said, "Look." And I looked at this sculpt, this creation. And I, like Matt, was confused initially when he saw it. Like, is that going to be, who's that? Is that going to be... I was confused by it. But I was also... it spoke to me so clearly. It spoke of a sense of history, a sense of threat, a sense of violence. Also, there was kind of something sorrowful to the visage as well. It was just so complex. So I had that. I had the script, and then I had that, and then what Lauren and her team of writers created from the ground up. I mean, they took just a seedling at best, which was what we did in the Batman film, and they created this whole world and these complex characters inhabited by Dee Dee, Francis, and Renzi as Victor, and Kristen as Sophia, and every single character she paid attention to. It's not just the Penguin Oz show, it's all these human beings that are so complex and multifaceted, and I just knew that we were going to get to look into the engine of this guy personally in an interesting way. But there was no particular reference point. Danny DeVito and I shared a few texts back and forth, but that was more taking the piss out of each other about who's the best penguin. It was nothing to do with it, and sending pictures of action figures and shit, and yours is more accurate than mine. What's up with that? Who did the paint job on my action figure? But nothing too serious or weighty, But the script was, the script must have been, which you guys created. Did you ever add it all up? Was it 500 pages? It was a tome.
I think you told me at one point how many pages it was, and I was like, please stop telling me how many pages it is.
Yeah, wait till I hit you up with Rotten Tomatoes next week.